I'm just gonna start recording this, and while you're pissing, just me and him talking, see how the sync is.
You're just gonna start the episode now.
Yep. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mixed Pixel Podcast, Episode 5. It's been a very long time since we've done anything. Since then, we have commandeered Rob's apartment, kicked him out of the group. He's no longer with us.
We shot him.
We shot him. We figured, you know what? We have guns. Rob doesn't have guns.
So we shot
him. In lieu of Rob being gone, I figure what we will talk about now instead of video games are gardening. You like gardening. We both like gardening. We've always wanted to start a gardening podcast for our whole lives. And, you know...
I like to plant cucumbers.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about you. I didn't know that about you at all.
Cucumbers
Me, I'm a tomato guy. I've tried watermelons in the past.
They're a little tricky.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You know, you look up tutorials.
You gotta get it just right.
Yeah.
Because the snow will fuck it all up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. You know,
I can't grow mangoes here either.
You tried that?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that.
Can't grow them.
Scratch it off my list. Unless maybe I move somewhere else to a different climate.
Florida.
I figure.
You have to go to like Florida.
I figure Colorado up in the mountains. You can probably plant some mangoes. That's what I heard. You get the freshest, juiciest mangoes because the ice it seeps into the skin of the mango, and when you bite into it, well, that's all they sell up there in Colorado. Are iced mangoes. Only food they eat up there.
Weed flavored mangoes.
Weed and iced mangoes. It's insane. Mangoes. It's insane. Rob, you're supposed to be dead.
Oh. Right.
Iced mangoes are...
I thought he was going to moon us. That would have been perfect. The way he was fixing his shirt, I thought he was just drop his pants and show us some ass.
Alright.
Welcome to the Mixed Pixel Podcast, Episode 5. It's been a long time since we've been together. Almost a month. In that month, some interesting things have happened in gaming. But most importantly, how are you guys doing?
Good.
Mr. Rob Trainee and
Glad
Jose
to be back.
Totrenchi. I am Bill Conway. This is a video game podcast. Not about mangoes, not about watermelons. Not about killing our friends. We want to keep our friends alive, so you can do this show forever and ever and ever.
Unless you're in Battle Royale, then you don't want to keep your friends alive.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch that? Have you watched it yet?
Battle Royale?
Yeah.
No.
We gotta watch that.
I want to watch that. I want to watch the Raid.
Same.
We gotta get together.
And I want to watch Ip Man because I saw a clip from I think it was Ip Man 3. Are there 3 of them?
Yeah.
I saw a clip from Ip Man 3 where like he's like fighting like 100,000 dudes in this room.
With
and
like a stick of bamboo.
Every now and then he'll just pepper in this move almost as if like a triangle button would pop up and like if he do like an execution. He did this move or like he would like some guy would walk up and he's like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna do this to this guy, and he would just punch him 1,000 times in his stomach.
It's amazing.
And I'm like, why have I not seen this fucking movie yet?
All 3 of them are great.
But yeah, how are you guys doing? I asked you that already, but I want details.
I've been growing cucumbers over the past month.
I didn't know that.
Really fast. They grow fast. They grow in like 2 days.
Wait, have you actually been growing cucumbers? Because I know you said it as part of the joke intro.
Which, by the way, I had no idea it was that you were recording.
Oh yeah, I hate that shit. That's a loosey goosey. Out of everything that's happened though since we've been gone, I think the last episode we kind of speculated a bit on the PlayStation Neo. Mm-hmm. That's now been officially revealed. Since we've been gone. Oh, that's Rainbow with Graham Bonnet, I think, is the singer. This episode brought to you by Stratty Daddy. Without it, we wouldn't be here today.
Oh, they picked us up again.
Yeah.
Good.
Thank God. Go to strattyday.com/mixedpixel to get 20% off your next Stratty Daddy. Get in the game with Stratty Daddy. But the PlayStation 4 Pro is revealed at the much anticipated PlayStation meeting 2 weeks ago? Was it a week ago? A week ago, where they showed off the PlayStation 4 Slim, which was leaked beforehand in much detail. The entire console itself.
They took the shit apart.
It's completely leaked. It was completely fucking leaked beforehand. And we saw that. We were all expecting it. You could just see him when he comes out. When he came out to announce, like, this is the PlayStation 4 Slim. And everyone's just like,
Yeah,
okay.
we know.
Okay. Like, you could just skip that whole part, and then we would know it was coming out.
So you walked in, it's like, this is a TV. You guys knew that already.
So we got that. That's going to be $299.99. You can also get a $349.99 version that comes with a 1 terabyte hard drive. Which did they mention that in the conference, or did I find that in an article?
They kind of glazed it. I think.
Okay. Well, one of my biggest things I've been waiting for, like for these hardware revisions, is like hard drive size, because I remember when they announced the consoles initially, 500 gigabyte hard drive, like fuck yeah, man! Xbox 360 shipped to 20. Like, I ran it, and in retrospect, like how did I ever run in a room? Like you didn't have to install any games. DLC at maximum was like 900 megabytes. Like, but like looking at it from in the past, like, oh man, that's a lot of space. And you run out of fucking room after you install 4 games, because games for some reason are 70 gigabytes. Like,
That's not even like some games. I have the disc, and it's still taking up 20-30
yeah.
gigs.
Well, it installs everything off the disc, and then the disc is just there for licensing. Like, to make sure that you own the game. Like, it's your license now.
Wow, still.
It offloads everything off the disc, puts it on your console.
Kind of like serial keys used to be.
Yeah. It's pretty much there to just proof of purchase, proof of ownage, like a serial key, yeah. But, hard drive space. So, then they moved on to the PlayStation 4 Pro. That's what they're calling this thing. What do you guys think of the name? Before we get into before we break open this box and,
It's so
what do you think of that
It's
name?
such a bad name.
It's a bad name, and then they just ripped off the logo from, like, Apple. Like the iPad, like the way it's done. They didn't rip it off directly. It's not a giant apple. But just the way it's the design of it is very, very similar to a lot of Apple products.
It's very reminiscent. I think they went that route because I think that's maybe the mindset they want people to have when they're thinking about the Pro is like, this is not a new iPhone. This is not a new PlayStation. This is simply the iPhone 4S. A little more powerful. It doesn't do anything your iPhone 4 really technically can't do.
You jumped back pretty far.
But well, that was the first
out.
time they've ever done that, right? I think Apple,
probably, yeah.
with their little 4S thing.
so.
That makes
Yep.
that makes sense.
But so I think that's kind of like the thing they're going for almost is like, hey, look,
Yeah, I guess so.
don't worry about this, whatever. Like, and then even with the branding, like they're ripping Apple off. Like, it might be intentional. I think there's got to be a guy back there who went, okay, how did Apple do it with the iPhone?
Yeah.
How did they make it so that the 4 is still the prominent thing, but then they have this little nugget down here that indicates this is better. But it's not making people scared. Well, make it small and white. Pro. So inside of this box, pretty much everything they've shown us at the conference. Now, I don't have any really negative opinions on the Pro. But my opinions on the presentation of everything. It wasn't a great conference, whatever. Mm-hmm. I don't think it was supposed to blow anyone's doors down, like the presentation of the thing. Like a lot of people were expecting, like E3, they're gonna announce all kinds of games. And
I think that the thing is, the expectation of it was, like you said, like a lot of people were expecting so many more announcements, particularly like specific with the Pro.
Yeah.
But it was literally everything we already knew for months.
Yeah. Pretty much, exactly.
The only thing we didn't know was that horrible triple-decker design that they have.
Yeah.
That's the only thing we didn't know.
We were mostly just waiting to see what it was going to look like.
And it is the PlayStation third stack of pages.
Yes.
It just looks like a Photoshop. Like someone's like, this is what it's going to look like, guys. Ha ha, great, have an upvote. And there's like, no, this is what it actually looks like. It's like, fuck.
How do we make the PlayStation look more powerful? Add another stack. Like for real?
Bigger's better.
Like for real? Like I remember seeing that, and like up to that point.
Like at least make it look like the PS4 but thicker.
Yeah.
If you want to make it look bigger. But not like you just took half of it.
I guess
from
again.
Another one and put it on top.
I guess again, it's like, in terms of design and even with the logo and the branding and everything, like how do you market a thing? Like, well, PlayStation is two things stacked on top of each other. How do we indicate that it's more powerful to just a glance? 3. Like it's.
Well, they should have made it 4, double the power.
Oh baby, there you go. But is it double the? I don't know.
I don't think it's double.
We'll talk about its capabilities. The other thing is, like, I'm not too negative on this thing. It's a lot less. The specs are exactly what was leaked. When these specs leaked, they're the exact same. Everything that leaked, everything is true. Which kind of took the wind out of the sails a bit, I think. Yeah. And kind of maybe forced them into a position where it's like, okay, let's just go out there and just fucking show it. I don't care how bored we look. I don't care how much Mark Cerny wants to ASMR the crowd. Let's just get this thing. Okay.
Here we go.
I was watching this thing, okay, at the same time as you guys. And Mark Cerny's a brilliant dude. He's smart as hell. Like, the dude is he's like the chief architect on PlayStation consoles. The dude designed the PS4. He's head of whatever on this thing. Smart guy. He presents himself really well. But he came out to present this PS4 Pro and... Hi, guys. Today, we're going to talk about the PlayStation 4 Pro. We're going to do some soft tapping. Some white noise and rain on the windows. And as you can see, these windows with the rain is in 4K with HDR. What you'll experience with this is a very delicate and wide range of colors on Nathan Drake's shirt. It's amazing. Almost as amazing as my voice. I'm Mark Cerny. I love knack. So, like, what we got was this, like, super relaxing, like, okay, this is already boring enough. Let's go to bed. Like, kind of thing.
He came out there with his best Zenyatta impression.
Yeah, he came out there talking like he's going to bring peace to the world. Instead, what he unleashed was a torrent of chaos and opinions on the internet, divided between people who don't want the Pro and people who do want the Pro. Mm-hmm. I don't care one way or the other that it exists. Mm-hmm. I don't see a problem with it existing. You know, my disappointment with the conference mostly came from, like, I wanted to watch this thing and walk away from it going, okay, I want one of these things. I need one right now.
Absolutely.
And as someone who doesn't own a 4K TV or an HDR-enabled TV and doesn't plan on having one within the next year, I mean, I will have one. And when I do get one, like, this is something I will look into buying for sure. And there are enhancements for the 1080p people without HDR or whatever. It does have more horsepower, and they have confirmed that if you don't have a 4K TV or an HDR-enabled TV, then that power will... up to the developer, of course, not guaranteed on every game, which is a thing that I think they tried to stress so that people don't buy it expecting it no matter what. Every game's going to run at an enhanced frame rate. You know, if it's up to the developers, like Rise of the Tomb Raider has options. They announced like 4 options. There's a 4K enabled 30 FPS edition. There's a 1080p between 45 and they're targeting 60 FPS edition. There's a 1080p 30 FPS like enhanced graphics edition, and then like a whatever. Maybe it's 3 options. Or was that 4?
That was 3.
That was 3. Maybe they had 3 options. So it's up to the developer, I think, to kind of pick how they want to take advantage of it, if they want to take advantage of it at all. Mm-hmm. But there will be enhancements. So, I mean, if I did buy one now with my older TV, like, there will be games that will take advantage of it no matter what. But as someone who's like, whatever, you know, I'll wait and see how many games actually fuck with that. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I'm going to wait and see. But I know, Jose, I know when we were watching the conference, I know you're all in on, like, pretty shit. I know you're like, more, like, inclined to get in on the top of the line, like TVs or phones or whatever. I'm a little slower with my like adoption rate with technology. Are you excited for the PlayStation 4 Pro?
I'm not necessarily excited for it, but I know I'm going to get it at some point. So I know I plan on the next year or so to get a 4K TV. But after I do that, then I'll start thinking about getting it. It's not something that's on my list to. Like, oh shit, with all this overtime that I'm going to be working, I'm going to go out and buy it. No, probably not. Probably not for like another year or two. More on the 2 side. But yeah, I'm not in a rush for anything. And again, it's not hurting that it's out there.
Yeah.
It's just really, if you want it, you can have it.
That's one of the things I think a lot of people online maybe need to realize. Because a lot of people angry about it. And I get maybe where they're coming from, what place they're coming from with being angry about this thing existing, or maybe not angry as so much as being like unwilling to accept the fact that they now own the like Dirty Boy console or whatever, as I've dubbed it on Twitter the day of the conference. Like, I don't have the Dirty Boy PS4. Like, that's one that all the dirty boys have. You know, all of like the cool dudes got like this shit that's running better. I'm still rolling up in my '94 Taurus. It's still clunking and clunking. You know, I think a lot of people are expecting that, like, oh,
Kid Rock edition.
You know, I now have the dirty PS4, the PS4 Kid Rock edition that is still trying to be super cool, but it ain't keeping up with the cool boys. You know, if you shell out the extra bucks, you can have like a better experience. Yeah, exactly. We're not
dirty boys,
we're the dirty boys. I can maybe see where they're coming from. Like, I paid $400. I paid the same price for this thing on launch, and now I no longer have. I mean, it's the nature of PC gaming, but at the same time, it's never been the norm in console gaming. It's never happened ever.
And that's why people are mad.
Yeah. I think my biggest thing is this kind of confirms. Well, not necessarily confirms, but it definitely pushes back the like iterative console idea.
Yeah.
Because this isn't, the next. This isn't going to jump from the Pro to something else right now. Right now, the Pro is pretty much the PS4, but it plays in high resolution, might play in high frame rate and such. Yeah. it's not like there's still a chance of a PlayStation 5.
There will be a PS5, I think.
Which is
this is a lot different.
That's still the way they're gonna go.
It's a lot different than what I was expecting maybe it to come out as. Like
I feel like this happened because at the time of launch, 4K was just kind of rearing its head. But Microsoft and Sony were in an arms race.
Yeah.
To get out there with a new console.
And I'm sure there's lots of people who have 4K TVs who want to, and like they should be able to take advantage of it. They paid money for that TV. There should be a box that lets them play these games. You know, and like I'm happy for those people.
I've actually thought about that too because I remember like when I would go to Best Buy or something, and I see like a nice 4K TV, and I'm like, wow, man, like I wish my games could look this fucking pretty, like this great. And now it's out there, and like I know you can do it with your PC. But I mean, with the PC, granted, you're getting a longer longevity out of it. You're also dropping like $700 to $1,000, if not more.
Yeah.
For 4K capable,
And monitors are much more expensive than TVs are.
I assume a lot of the decisions too behind it were VR related as well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
To help certain VR games run a little better.
Which is imperative. Frame rates in VR.
It'll be interesting because the VR launches a whole month before Pro comes out, which is interesting to me.
But I guess that they're confident that
it still runs
PS4
fine.
still runs just fine.
I'm sure there will be bigger AAA experiences probably capable with the Pro. Yeah.
See, I'm definitely much more interested in, if I can only buy one thing,
it's tempting to
I'm
call
buying the VR, not the Pro. I'm buying the VR. I can only get one of them.
I would
exactly.
I would definitely want the VR over the Pro at this point.
It was interesting, you know, like we were talking about this last time. Sorry, everybody. When we were talking about this last time, you know, like I had the dream of like, you know, iterative going forward and no more generations. You know, backwards compatibility saw blah 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 blah. But obviously, I think there would be an issue if they kept doing that because then there would be misunderstandings. Maybe if things are still labeled as PS4, like 2 iterations down the line, people are like, "What the hell? I can't play it." You know, and like, say there's exclusive games for that iteration. So, I think we'll hopefully see solutions to backwards compatibility going forward. There's no fucking reason we shouldn't be able to solve that at this point. Going forward.
Yeah.
What already transpired, fine. PS3, weird architecture in that goddamn thing with the cell, whatever the fuck they were doing in there, developing some Doc Ock shit inside the box. Some crazy villain. Going forward, though, everything uses x86, so there should be no issue.
Sony knows what they're doing when they make things, but they're not consumer friendly.
No. And that's a discussion that I was having with this meeting. It's almost like, and Microsoft is fully taking advantage of it.
Exactly.
And I don't blame them because I mean, like, and I try to stay away from picking sides or anything, but really, like, they're shooting themselves in the foot. Like, oh yeah, you bought all that stuff, we're making a ton of money. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's how a lot of people are seeing it.
I think the big thing is recently they shut down Fallout 4 mods, apparently.
Yeah, Sony,
according to Bethesda.
It's funny that as that all, we'll transition to that right about now. I don't think there's too much more we can really say about the Pro as a unit. You know, we're all interested in it, but not interested in enough to buy it right now.
It's ugly on the outside.
Yeah,
yeah.
I am super interested though to finally to feast my eyes on like HDR and 4K at the same time. Like I hear HDR in general is beautiful.
Yeah.
And also for anyone who doesn't know, all base PS4s are being patched to.
It already has the HDR.
Oh yeah, with the latest firmware update 4.0. It was passed to have HDR support, all PS4. So if you have an HDR enabled TV, boom, there you go. That's one of the big selling points of PS4 Pro. Is look how beautiful everything looks in HDR. You know, not so much just 4K. So that's exciting. I don't have an HDR TV, but maybe those will be cheaper than just to put. If I'm buying a new TV, I might as well go all in and get 4K and HDR. But I'm excited to see it with my own eyes because I hear HDR is pretty as hell. And the rumblings I've heard from people at the conference when they were showing like Mass Effect Andromeda off, like the color, like they had like 4K HDR displays in the conference there, which makes sense. If they didn't, it'd be strange. Which is kind of stuff we couldn't really see over the stream. Was like really how it really looked.
Yeah.
Like me watching it over some shit ass Twitch stream, you know, isn't going to give me the idea of like wow.
I believe they did release the claims of full quality, but even then, you don't have a 4K monitor at home.
Yeah. So I'm excited for that. Oh, I also want to say that's the first like real gameplay we saw of Mass Effect Andromeda, and that's how they did it.
It was so boring.
I
still have faith in the game, but like they showed nothing. They showed the most boring segment of probably the entire game.
I have nothing but good faith in that game. It's just as I've said on this show before, and as I've made it known many times, is I've been waiting 2 or 3 years of E3 garbage to see anything Mass Effect related when we've seen nothing really. Nothing yet. And the first clip of gameplay we see is it looks beautiful, but the first clip of gameplay we see is some dude, No Man's Skying it over some fucking platforms in a ruin. And then we get to see the facial animations, which are great looking, and the colors do look beautiful. I bet it's beautiful in HDR. But like, I wanted to see like everything thrown at me at once. I wanted to see like the story, the gameplay interwoven into it, and everything, and not like whatever. That's the direction Mass Effect is taking with No Man's Sky now. But yeah, no. Speaking of Sony and kind of people seeing him in a negative light that week, like I think a day later, Bethesda came out and said, "Oh, you know, we're very sorry you guys have been waiting so long for mods for Fallout 4 on PS4. You know, but in the most like there was so much hatred in that press release, and like it might not have been so apparent, but the way you read it, like nobody in the history of like games has ever so blatantly blamed a first party like that for a problem. Like they usually, we're working on it, whatever, with some issues, but they came out, hey, Sony said, no, sorry guys, we're mad about this too. Like whatever. And has Sony released a statement on that yet?
I don't believe so. No.
It's kind of a bummer, man.
You know, everything they post, there's people talking to them about it. I'm sure there's other petitions and whatnot, but Sony hasn't said a word.
Yeah. So I'm curious as to why, if it is Sony stopping them from doing it, why?
What I imagine is it's security purposes.
Yeah, in the press release,
being able to mod and stuff.
In Bethesda's release,
Sony's crazy about security because theirs isn't good.
Because it sucks. They mentioned how the way we want to do mods is that we want people to be able to do whatever they want. And in the release, they went like, Sony's not going to allow us to release mod support the way we want to do it, and we don't think it should be released at all unless you're allowed to install whatever. I'm sure Sony probably when you can only do these kinds of mods or this kind of mods. You can only have this.
Bethesda's already restricted copyrights and nudity.
Yeah.
So that's all gone.
Sony's worried about their shit getting bricked or whatever, and maybe I can't.
Complaints when the mods.
Yeah, maybe I can't. Maybe I can't blame them, but you know what? Nothing as bad has really happened at Xbox. No one's Xbox has turned into muck. No one's thing is like whatever. That buzzed me out. I was looking forward to that. I was looking forward to mod support and Fallout 4.
The Skyrim release. When they announced that at E3, I was like, you know what? I'd love to play Skyrim again with mods because I never had a PC to do that.
Anybody with
now, I'm not even
anybody with multiple consoles, what's the point? Like any Bethesda game now, you buy it on the Microsoft platform. I mean, that's always been the case typically.
True.
Performance-wise, because Bethesda themselves have never been able to wrap their heads around Sony's architecture. Even with the PS4, they can't wrap their heads around it for some fucking reason. Far Harbor had performance issues out of the gate with fog, and to fix it, they just removed the fog. It ran perfectly it ran at like 30 frames on the Xbox and it'll dip below 30 on PS4. I mean, they passed it out quickly and just removed the fog. Well, we fixed it. You didn't fix it, my ass. You just took out the fog.
They never put it back. It's just gone.
The fog's gone. Xbox is a less powerful console.
That's crazy.
It makes no sense to me.
That's
so
crazy. Whatever.
It's an interesting thing. I think it makes a Skyrim remaster kind of worthless if it's not coming out with the full.
Yeah, I don't see it doing very well on the PS4.
Yeah. No, I won't.
I'll see until Sony does something. I don't see Bethesda games doing very well on PS4 to begin with the exception of stuff like maybe like Dishonored or
there are other developers under the publisher will be fine. Yeah.
But like Fallout, Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, anything that they
develop.
Like
if you have the option.
Yeah, if you had the option, I think it was probably still sell well, but it's just kind of being purchased like kind of sadly. Like, I mean, PS4 games console games in general have been used to never having mods before, but the fact that they exist. I was so excited about that. I was so excited about the idea of being able to mod on consoles and seeing how it worked on Xbox and maybe it's not as great as it was on PC, but then I'm like, man, could you imagine if other games allowed you to do this? And well, now Sony.
Yeah, it was opening up a whole new thing. Like Bethesda starts it, but this opens the doors for anybody to do it. And now,
exactly.
Who knows if anyone will ever be able to do it?
Well, on an Xbox, we got all the mods. We got mod support. On our Xbox One S, we have
when Xbox comes out and they finally talk about the Scorpio, they're going to push that mods work.
They already did. They already did with their S. They had a tweet after the Pro conference ended, and then not long after the mod support news broke, Xbox made a tweet that went Xbox One S, $299.99, 4K support, HDR support, HD Blu-ray drive or whatever, which the PS4 Pro doesn't have.
The Pro does not have it, which is insane.
So weird.
That's ridiculous.
They can play 4K. It will have the images in 4K, but you can't play 4K Blu-rays.
Like, regardless of whether or not
4K games, 4K Netflix.
Regardless
of 4K Blu-rays.
They said our market doesn't use physical discs a lot. You know, that's why you focus
Yeah,
on
we
the
do.
streaming.
They do a lot.
It's like, you know what? Even if it wasn't the case, you're selling a $400 box, but doesn't have this drive in it. Like, oh, it'd probably save money because they're cheap as fuck. But the $299 Xbox One S has it. Now, the Xbox One S's innards are also weaker than the PS4 Pro, but come on, man.
Yeah, at this point, I'm
Seriously?
also just gonna wait to see what happens with Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I know my brother wants to play Skyrim Remastered, and I don't know how he feels about the mods. About the mod support being a big issue. So we have an Xbox One.
Yeah.
But me myself, I don't have one. That's pretty much my brother's. So I'm just gonna wait to see what Scorpio has to offer, and maybe go down that route instead for certain things.
Good plan. Good plan, my friend. Good plan.
I mean, in a sense, it actually gives me more of a reason to buy an Xbox One. There's only a couple exclusives I want to play, but if it means I can mod Fallout 4 and Skyrim on top of the exclusives, I mean, that could be enough for me.
I do want to eventually get an Xbox One, but then I think of this. Okay, I say I wait for the Scorpio, which is what I would probably do.
Mm-hmm.
Is wait to see what that is. But then, pretty much every big Xbox One game is also coming to PC. Would I be better served building like a badass, super future-proof PC that is able to play all of these Xbox One games and also the games that come to PC?
That's true, and you can mod whatever you want.
Exactly.
That's true.
So it's an interesting dilemma. And even with the PS4 Pro, it's like this holiday season, I'm probably building a new PC with instead of beginning of Pro. Which, if the Pro was something different, or if it was whatever, I don't know, much more powerful, maybe my mindset would be different. But it's like $400 plus TV or plus whatever. I might as well just buy.
Yeah, you can build a
bunch of parts and do a new build, you know, and
So who's the first to do a 4K TV bundle with a PS4 Pro discount? Probably Best Buy.
Probably Best Buy, but there's already a million of those bundles with the Xbox One S. It's like $500 gets you a 4K TV and an Xbox One S. I forget the size of the TV, but
still,
I've seen them. Yeah,
I mean, I use a 32 when I live. So
wait, how much are 4K TVs?
They're starting to dip down in price.
So they will eventually become the norm, like 1080p TVs, pretty much.
They're getting there.
That's when I'll jump into this shit.
Because 4K has been new for at least 3 years now.
When
maybe
the
2.
PS4 launched around that time.
Well, yeah.
Like,
And so now it's getting closer and closer to being something more normal.
Cool.
Yeah, because I saw a TV about the same size as mine.
So they give it 5 years, and even your family will have a 4K TV.
There we go.
I saw recently a 42-inch 4K TV for the same price that I paid for my current TV. It was 42 inches. But I bought that TV 4 or 5 years ago. It was like $400 or something like that.
Cool. Well, interesting. That changes things a little too in my head. But anyway, speaking of Sony, they also had their Tokyo Game Show conference this week.
Yeah.
The week of us recording this, which wasn't very good.
No, they didn't.
I watched that. I mean, it's whatever. You know, a lot of stuff they announced typically probably wouldn't come here anyway.
They went to the most extreme on their intro slideshow.
Yeah.
That intro slideshow took literally like 3-4 minutes long.
It was dope, but it was all stuff we've already seen pretty much in that slideshow.
It was a very long slideshow.
Yeah.
I was into the music anyway.
Pretty much showed nothing new.
Did we predict most of it? Like
I'm trying to think of what they
showed. I don't think
showed.
anything to even predict because they didn't really show anything.
Well, we kind of nailed Neo. We figured there was going to be a release
you got the
window
release
for
date
it.
right on that.
It's worldwide.
We guessed right about a Neo release date. That's what you just said.
Yeah. We guessed right on Neo. That's right. You got the Neo release right. We did guess a Neo release.
When you say Neo, I keep thinking of the PlayStation Neo, which is now the PS4 Pro.
We guessed the Final Fantasy 15 bundle with the PS4.
Yeah.
Except that we figured it was going to be a Pro and not just a Slim.
Yeah.
That's
They
the only
showed
difference.
in that conference. They showed like all 3 PlayStation 4s like side by side. Like this is the PlayStation family. And they had the regular PS4, the PS4 Slim, and the PS4 Pro. Man, it just goes to show you. I looked at that and I immediately thought like, man, like the launch PS4 is so much nicer looking than either of those two things. Like the Slim's whatever, but this isn't that fat of a console. I'm pointing to it off screen. You guys could obviously tell I'm pointing to a PS4. The launch PS4 isn't that fat of a console. I like the cornered edges more. I think it's sleeker looking. The PS4 Slim, I don't know. I mean, it's the PS4 Pro, both 2 stacks. It's the same design.
I mean, look at that and look at the PS3. I mean, that thing's ugly.
The PS3, I didn't want to say, we both own a PS3 Slim. It's not going to be insulting you personally. I was going to say, that thing's ugly as sin.
And it's not really much more slim than the base one.
That's one of the ugliest consoles I've ever owned is a PS3 Slim.
Yeah.
And a lot of people made fun of the launch PS3. Oh, George Foreman grill. I liked that thing. It was sleek. It was big as fuck.
George Foreman grill.
But that was sleek. I really liked that thing.
It had the whole glossy top.
I still want to get
one.
No,
I think that one's ugly too.
Fuck you, Rob. I still want to go on eBay. I want to get one of the launch ones that has backwards compatibility with PS2. Because then I can play PS1, PS2, PS3 on one box. I don't know how much.
Still got a PS2.
You can play PS1 games on it.
You can play PS1 games on this, yeah. But with the other one, you can play PS2 games, the launch one. Why'd they take that out?
I don't even know.
This is going to be a running theme for their history of mixed pixels. How much I can't stand the fact that backwards compatibility is some big fucking mind-blowing impossible task.
What I still understand is Microsoft, they updated their software and made games backwards compatible.
Yeah.
What's stopping Sony? I think Sony just doesn't know how to write code. They don't know how to do it. They don't know how to make backwards compatibility work. They don't know how to let you change your name. Because their code is so fucked up.
That's another thing.
They need to just get rid of it all and start over.
They need new, eager software engineers.
Yeah.
Is what they need.
These old
we get it. I mean, fuck, the people who are designing this shit's already given up. So at least take their money and pay it to people who want to help you develop something.
When the PlayStation 5 comes out, this needs to be wholly new, developed from scratch, brand new code, and just release it. It plays everything.
I was reading about, like, one of the reasons why I think they can't change it, and I think one of the reasons they gave was, like, the way that the PSN is set up is that when you made your account, your PSN name is like your account name or something, and they can't figure out a way to differentiate between display name and account name. So by asking to change your display name, you're effectively going into the back end and fucking with their account system, which is like has everything you've ever done tied to it. This is like the only company I've ever heard of that ever made a thing like this with this fucking setup. Like Steam, I can change my name every 2 seconds if I want to. Then I can go to my profile and I can see every single fucking name I've ever had.
Yeah.
Emma Watson's boyfriend, Faster Man, Mind Crime, whatever. But on Sony,
that's the name that everyone sees.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Like
not just
display name.
Friends
and Steam has an account name and a display name. Like Sony just has account name and you can't fucking change it. Is what I believe is the problem. When they would develop PSN, they didn't develop it with that in mind and they fucked up. And now like it's like almost honestly, too far gone. Like
they just didn't know what they were doing. Like they went from the PS2, the PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. Just all the differences. These accounts for everybody to be on. That's big.
Yeah.
But at the same rate, Microsoft did it and they did fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know. Sounds weird. One thing they showed off at TGS I'm super pumped for. Probably the only guy who's pumped about it is the Warriors games, like Dynasty Warriors, Samurai Warriors. They announced like an All-Stars version of that.
I saw that.
Oh, I'm so fucking jacked. I love the Warriors games, man. I have a great time playing every single one. And when I showed the trailer off, they like initially showed one of their characters from like their Atelier series or whatever, like the little girl alchemist, really cute, making potions, fighting monsters. It's in Japan. Like fighting hordes of monsters. I'm like, wait, what? And then like it cuts to like Ninja Gaiden guy fighting people, and then it cuts to like Dead or Alive people, and I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then it cuts to a Dynasty Warriors guy. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then like they put them all together, and it's like it was in Japanese. I couldn't understand it, and like they never they never said the name.
Like, was it just the stream I was watching, or was the audio like really weird?
The audio was weird.
Like there was a guy talking, and there was just game audio.
Ooh, that's weird.
Like this guy was talking, there was no translator. There was just people yelling from a game in the background.
That's fucked up. You watched the
weird one.
I don't know.
You watched the Heckler edition. Mine was with a lady translating over it, talking.
I had that for parts of it, but there were other parts where she wasn't translating. It was just like
trailer
audio.
There was a moment where the stream fucked up. It was super hysterical. I was watching it live and it fucked up, and it fucked up during the Watch Dogs 2 trailer. But surprise, surprise, they're hackers. And it fucked up during that, and like it froze, the stream froze. And like I go on Twitter, and like everybody from like, game publication or whatever, like tweeting, what's Watch Dogs 2 crashed, what's happening? And every time you'd refresh the stream, it would like replay the same clip of the trailer, and then play the rest of the Watch Dogs 2 trailer, and then freeze every single time. And like everyone's tweets were just that line of dialogue that said, it was like, what would you pay for the betterment of the world? And then like whatever, and like what would you pay for the betterment of the world? And if you just keep hitting F5, you just keep getting that clip over and over again. Some asshole in the game with a man bun, whatever. But the translation was hysterical. I was having a great time watching that stream, regardless of what they showed, because that lady, it's one of the funniest things I've ever watched. That'd be one of the worst jobs to have. Like, so stressful. Like, to have to sit there and, like, it just...
And then know that assholes like you are going to be laughing.
Yeah, to know that assholes like me are going to be sitting here in this room going, man, did you see that shit? Like, that's what... I felt bad. Like, to have to keep up with that and know that there's, like, tens of thousands of people watching
the most outrageous thing at TGS was Hideo Kojima.
Why was he even there?
Like, he just came out, spouted nonsense about ropes and online something.
This is good.
And then he showed a picture of Norman Reedus in a suit hitting the guy with a stick.
This is good because I actually wanted to talk about this.
It told me nothing.
I love Hideo Kojima. All respect in the world for this guy. And, what happened to him with Konami, I just said like that, huh? Everything with Konami, should never have happened that way. Everybody felt for him. Everyone wants him to come back with a badass game, and he's definitely going to. But, for just 1 month, can maybe a little bit be reeled back with the Hideo Kojima worship a little bit? Because it's gotten to the point where he's just showing up at fucking shows for no reason. Because they know it's going to make everyone go nuts.
Yeah. He's
just showing up at shows for no reason and just showing literally nothing about his game. He comes out and he's going to say some nonsense and no one's going to care. It's nonsense because he's Hideo Kojima. Oh, did you see that? And they're what was that? He said what kind of game it is. Death Stranding is an open world action game. Where you can...
I don't think he said it was straight up open world.
He did say open world
to a degree.
Was it open world elements though? Yeah, to a degree. It wasn't. I don't think he said it was full. Maybe.
Maybe he cleared it afterwards because I didn't get a chance to watch it. But
I feel like that's what
I saw that he said that it was open world to a certain point.
What does that mean though?
And then he also said he said the players are connected in some way. There's no confirmation if it's online or if there's just the players work together. Because I know that's the thing he wanted with the Silent Hills demo was for the players to find these clues and collaborate. And I'd be interested to see him make a game in that style, but I don't know because he really came out and told us nothing, and then showed us random concept art. That I feel
like we're gonna get that for a while. Yeah. I feel like he's gonna come out again at PSX and tell us nothing again.
Absolutely.
He's gonna go, oh look, I got a new model of Norman Reedus.
He's just gonna sit there and eat pizza,
and people will lose their shit. What does that mean?
Yeah.
I think he's just eating pizza, dude. It means nothing. That's what.
And then he's really good. And then just walk off stage.
Wait, he liked the pizza. He liked the pizza. That means something.
Did you see the look on his face when he swallowed the pepperoni? Did you see that? What does that mean?
Just take a look on his face when he swallowed the pepperoni.
Pepperoni?
And look at his face when he swallowed the sausage.
Pepperoni is a variety of meats, and so is sausage, all rolled in a skin. What is Norman Reedus? A variety of organs wrapped in a skin. Is the main character eating Norman Reedus? Do we actually play as Norman Reedus? Is this Snake? It's gonna end up being Metal Gear Solid 6.
That's all that happened is they replaced David Hayter and they're like, let's just do it again. But we're gonna change the entire character too.
To a pepperoni.
Oh man, Reedus Snake.
It's cured meats.
Solid Reedus.
Solid Reedus. It's better than Solid Norman.
Here's everyone's favorite video game hero, Solid Norman. Anyway. Solid Norman, everybody. This podcast brought to you by Solid Norman. Get all your tips and tricks at StrattyDaddy.com. Use the promo code MixPixel to get 20% off your Stratty Daddy. And you too can beat Solid Norman. Anyway, Tokyo Game Show. Tokyo Game Show. We got some new Vita colors. Japan still throwing the Vita some support. I like that. I like seeing that.
It was nothing. It's like, hey, we barely supported the Vita, but here's 2 new colors, and now we're done again.
They talked about it more at the TGS conference, and Sony of America has talked about it in 3 years.
I think the main thing is it actually sells.
It does really well
in Japan, and they put out the Vita's mainly JRPGs, so that's why it sells so well there.
Yeah, and that's
so it makes sense to show TGS. If they showed that at the PlayStation conference or PSX, it'd be ridiculous. It makes more sense to show it.
I'm okay with the Vita being a little JRPG machine. Most of the stuff I own on it are JRPGs, and for the most part, not a lot of them are coming out anywhere else. So when they release on the Vita, it's cool.
The thing is, JRPGs are really long. And I don't play on a portable that often. So
let's talk about that for a second. I don't know if you mentioned it on the show at all, but I always see this debate between people on the internet, and you and I play a lot of games. Us three, by you and I singular, you and I's, you and us.
U's and I's.
You and I. Well, you. Fuck it. I don't know what the fuck. I singular because I'm talking about me. What?
Hideo Kojima.
Oh, what does it mean, everybody? Solid bill. There's a debate that goes on between people on the internet between like what would you prefer to play your JRPG on, and I've noticed over the years. I've noticed like the consensus shift towards like, oh, I would rather play my really long JRPG on a handheld. And I've always thought in my head like, I like to play long games on my TV because like I'm not like my hands aren't fucked up, and I can sit back and look, or sit up and look, whatever, however you're sitting. But like my hands aren't cramped over a thing. I'm not like on my bed or whatever, and I don't have long commutes, so that factors into it as well. But just the idea of playing like a 90-hour game on a handheld is strange to me. I guess a lot of people's mindset comes from, I can turn it on quick and get a few battles in. But it's like, if I'm sitting down to play a JRPG, I'm not just doing it to get a few battles in. I'm usually like popping in there, I'm like, I'm going to play it. What do you guys prefer to play your JRPGs on?
I am the exact same opinion. Burp included.
Burp included. How about you, Jose? I know you played Persona 4. You played it obsessively. I know you popped that thing out a lot. You popped that Vita out all the time.
Yeah.
You'd be waiting in the line at the bathroom, popping that Vita out, playing Persona 4 you at the doctor's, dentist. I was watching you pop that Vita out. What do you prefer to play it on?
See, like in that, I'm actually I'm a little divided.
I'm out of beer.
Because I do really enjoy playing the handheld. I don't know why, but I really do. Even though after a while it actually doesn't cramp my hands as bad as I thought it would. Stuff like Freedom Wars did.
Yeah, it's a pain in the butt.
This is just sounds emitting from your body. Pain in the butt. But then one thing that we always talk about a lot is the music, which I feel sticks with me. I wouldn't say more than the game, but whenever I hear it, it immediately triggers that scene for me. So hearing it through the Vita and then hearing it through the TV is totally different. So I don't know. I'm a little divided. I'm neutral about it, I guess. But I do really like them on my handhelds. I don't have any long commutes. I'm the one that's driving all the time. Yeah. But no, I do like them on my handheld.
Yeah, I don't hate them on the handheld. Mm-hmm. But like, people prefer them on there, which is interesting.
Prefer them on consoles. Like Dragon Quest VIII, when that eventually comes west on the 3DS, I'll play it. But I'd much rather play an HD version of the game on my TV.
I almost feel like because of the restrictions in the hardware, they kind of stick to the formula of the classic JRPG. Mm-hmm. Instead of trying to focus so much on what's around, like what you can see, not what's around you, but what you can't see while you're playing.
There's a lot more turn-based Japanese games on handhelds than on consoles nowadays. I know, and you're seeing it again. Final Fantasy has not shifted ever back to turn-based. So Final Fantasy 13 was pretty much turn-based, but further past that, I mean,
12 was technically turn-based.
Technically,
because all your moves took time, but not actually turn-based.
Yeah. But like a good example would be like now with Persona 5 that launched this week in Japan and launched in February everywhere else. Like I'm definitely looking forward to playing that on my PS4. But if it was on the Vita, I'd play it on that too.
Yeah, I've actually bought games on my Vita, like that were also on PS4, like Tokiden. I have on my Vita. I mean, I bought it on the Vita; it was cheaper, and like just the idea of having a Monster Hunter type game on my handheld, which is another strange thing to have on the handheld, because I would prefer them on a bigger TV. But it was easier for me to bring to your house when we would play LAN parties. I would just bring my Vita.
Speaking of which, did they say anything? Because again, I didn't get to watch most of the TV.
They didn't mention anything about Tokiden, really.
What if
in there, the Koei Tecmo guy came out. He gave me like Musou All Stars or whatever. Gave us the Neo worldwide release date, which I think was their big focus. That's their big game coming out. That's like their big hey, look, we're gonna make a badass game that isn't a Warriors game, but isn't whatever. And people are gonna be like, damn, Koei Tecmo, damn.
I think it's because isn't Tokiden 2 out already?
In Japan, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why they didn't say shit.
Yeah.
Maybe PSX.
Maybe. I'm looking forward to that game very much. Tokiden is an amazing game.
It's a really fun game.
Yeah. I say amazing. Yeah, it's an amazing game. Fuck it. I'll use that word. Fuck you. That game's good as hell. I like it more than Monster Hunter.
It's a fun game. And again, back to the topic of my first episode. That's what we're playing for.
Yeah.
The fun.
I play to have fun, baby. And that brings me to my topic of the show. Somewhat. Games age. We age. Everything ages. Everything dies. Everything withers and dies. We all die alone. So...
like me for the past 2 weeks.
So... Video games age, obviously. And I thought about this because I've been playing, for the first time in my life, I've been playing Final Fantasy VII.
Yes.
I was going to ask you about that, but...
And I've been loving it. And it's a thing where, like, I grew up with the PlayStation 1 as one of my primary consoles. So, like, going back to an old game like Final Fantasy VII, that looks like it does. You know, it's easier for me. But even some games that, like, I maybe didn't grow up with, older games than that, our battery is running low. 10%.
Oh, because of all the... I'll be back.
Jose's going to plug our laptop in so this show can keep going for you. This episode brought to you by Stratty Daddy. Without Stratty Daddy, we wouldn't be alive right now. And we'd all die alone.
This episode's brought to you by Solid Brothers.
You have what?
Haichu.
Haichu?
Yeah, Japanese candy.
Oh, are they good?
Yeah, they're really good.
Oh, it's not the
Are they fruity?
weird evolution of Pikachu?
No, it's not. Where's all your shit now?
Under the TV.
I wonder if, like, do you see that? You see how it's, like, all, like, weird?
Yeah.
Do you think, like, it's, like, fucked up now?
Because the battery got low?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Oh, I think we're back.
Are you going to put a cut in our podcast for the first time?
I'll figure it out. Anyway, Final Fantasy VII I've been playing for the first time. And I've been enjoying it a lot. But what came to my mind is, like, you know, I always see people online talk about Final Fantasy VII. Like, I'll go to threads or whatever. Because I'm curious about Final Fantasy as a series. Because, like, it's a series I've always been aware of, conscious of.
It's an iconic series.
Yeah, and I've played entries of it, whatever. And I go back to threads, like, what's the best Final Fantasy to start with? Because as someone who's ever played one, it's like, you know, do I start with 6? Do I start with 4? Like, Final Fantasy is one of the most divisive fan bases I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
As to what are the best Final Fantasies, what are the worst Final Fantasies. Like, if you want to see, like, a bunch of motherfuckers just fight over the series they all love together, go to the Final Fantasy boards somewhere, you know, wherever. And they all agree they're great games, but they all disagree on which ones are the best. And so I always go into those threads, and I always see people talk about Final Fantasy VII. I always see people go, like, you know, you can start with Final Fantasy VII, but it might be a little bit difficult because the game has aged poorly. Which is always an interesting, like, topic for me in terms of games aging, because I'm a big Morrowind fan, and, like, it's one of the things whenever I talk about someone who tries to play Morrowind is like, oh, this game is too dated. Well, when I think about what really ages in games, and compared to visual age, mechanical age, you know, these mechanics feel a little sluggish compared to what we've been playing in 2016. Then there's, like, controls. For me personally, Final Fantasy 17, we're not there yet. 2060 maybe.
At this rate?
Yeah.
You're going to start working on it now.
Yeah, just skip there's a few older games I've gone back to try to play, and some of them I can't quite get through due to the age, but it is never due to, like, visual age or anything like that. It's mostly always due to controls for me. Like, I try to go back and play Metal Gear Solid 1. Like, I had never played that game before, and it doesn't have analog support.
Yeah, you use the D-pad.
I use a D-pad, and, like, the camera control sucks. Like, it's a fixed camera. You're not controlling it yourself. So, like, you know, when I'm trying to hide from cameras and stuff, and, you know, when you clip on a certain cover or whatever, the camera might fuck up, and I always get... It's just a matter of strangling it and getting used to it.
What I would say probably in Metal Gear was what I would think the most frustrating mechanic was the items.
Yeah.
That was pretty frustrating, but I can see what you're saying.
But yeah, that's one of the things I always struggle with mostly is controls. Because I'm one of those people who say, like, you know, games don't really... I'm not really a guy who, like, goes into an old game and just sits there and goes, look at how old this is. Because, like, if you go into it knowing it was made fucking 10 years ago, you should... Oh, yeah, it's not going to look like, you know, it's 15, you know?
Unless it looks terrible for the time it came out.
Yeah.
That's also because you're not a 14-year-old who's had an iPod and an iPhone since they were 6.
Like, the worst game I ever played, Frogger the Great Quest. I played that whole game from start to finish, and it's genuinely one of the worst games I've ever played.
Yeah.
It came out on the PlayStation 2, and it looks like shit.
See, that's the thing. Is like a good game is a good game no matter what. And I always hear people say this, like, oh, don't start with the newest one. Start with the old one, so it's not as weird to go back to the old one. What do you guys think about games aging? Do you think about that when you go pick a game? Like, oh, I don't think I can get into that because it's old, or I don't think I can get into that because it looks old.
A lot of people, similar to Final Fantasy VII, a lot of people recommend Knights of the Old Republic.
Mm.
And so I picked it up. I had $10 in my Steam wallet for selling like a trading card or something. And so I bought Knights of the Old Republic, and it's by no means a bad game, and I can tell that, but it's like behind the screen rolls for your attacks and stuff. And the combat's very, like, janky. Like, I can tell the story's interesting. I can tell, like, why people liked it, but I don't think I'll ever finish it.
It's like a mechanical age.
Mostly mechanical age. I don't care much about the graphics. They look fine. The voice acting's great, actually. It's mainly mechanical age, yeah.
Because that's something I think with Morrowind. And, like, there are cases where, like, maybe, like, mechanically this game has aged. Mm-hmm. Like... And that's mostly where I think age comes from. Like, he played Morrowind compared to Oblivion. And one of the big selling points was with Oblivion was, like, all your attacks land. Like, you know, it's not based on how high your skill is in it. If you have a higher skill, you do more damage or whatever. But if you swing this sword at a guy, it's going to hit him. In Morrowind, it was all dice roll behind the scenes.
Yes.
Like, if your rating in longsword was higher than 50, chances are you'd hit maybe about 90% of your attacks. If it was below 50, you'd have a lot of misses. Mm-hmm. And it gets frustrating.
Then they basically built computer versions of Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly. Brought to you by Stratty Daddy. Hack your Dungeons and Dragons game with Stratty Daddy. But yeah.
Is that code for get your DM drunk? That's how you hack your Dungeons and Dragons game.
Yeah, no, it's hide your DM in the trunk.
Slip him a Mickey.
And then fuck with all of his stat sheets. So interesting. I like that. Any games you've played, Jose, that you found hard to go back to because of age?
Of them. All games are stupid.
If it came out less than a year ago, I won't even play it.
That's why I haven't even started Dragon Age Inquisition. It's too old now. I don't know. It's hard. It's a similar question in a way. It's in a similar vein to like when you were talking about if we would go back, or the whole kid thing about whether we'd be able to play the same shit or not. Because I grew up with all of it, so like I've been through its very ugly days, and then to how smooth the controls and everything. But if it were to affect me, it would probably be the same thing, like the controls, which is actually what stopped me from playing Knights of the Old Republic. Not so much the dice roll thing, but I bought it on Steam and I couldn't stand the control scheme for it, and I got much further than my one friend who never got off the ship, which is literally the beginning. We teased him.
It takes no time at all.
We would still be teasing him if we knew what the hell happened to him. He just disappeared.
If you're out there, if you recognize this story,
Money, if you come across this, please get a hold of one of us. We have been trying to contact you for 3 years now.
Have you beaten Knights of the Old Republic?
I don't think he still works no, he wasn't working at the casino anymore. I think he was working at the airport.
If you're having trouble beating it, go to strattydaddy.com/mixpixel. You can get 20% off of Stratty Daddy. It'll help you beat the game. All the strats.
At some point, some 8-year-old kid's gonna watch this video and he's gonna be like, "I'm gonna go to strattydaddy.com."
I wonder if that domain exists. Is it porn?
God! What if it
porn?
Is? And what if it is an 8-year-old kid?
We're sorry. Is that 2 D's in Stratty?
It's like strategy, like Stratty Daddy.
Still 2 T's though?
Still 2 T's, yeah.
Stratty Daddy.
I'm scared. You're witnessing. That domain does not exist.
No.
Okay, good.
Let's buy that domain.
Children are lucky.
But yeah.
But yeah, same thing with Jade Empire. I've been dying to fucking play that game, and I finally bought it on Steam. And
tough to wrangle.
Same thing, and I was able to get it with the Xbox 360 controller.
Yeah.
But to like get all the buttons right because everything's so it was so weird, and I really wanted to play that because it looks really cool, and I've heard great things about it. But it would definitely come down to the control scheme and the mechanics as well. Because like I said, I complained now about how it felt to play those 2 games, particularly on the PC at this point. But I will gladly go back and play Final Fantasy VII at any time, or Final Fantasy 3.
The funny thing about Final Fantasy VII as I'm playing it, and like I was texting your brother about it, like about games aging, and you know how like he and I love like no matter like like visuals to me don't really age too much. Like if they're older, or whatever. But there's still a certain charm to them. And I love the PlayStation 1 era a lot. I love the visuals PlayStation 1.
I really like the visuals, the way 7 looked.
Like a lot of people go, oh man, like they look blocky or whatever. But it's like, man, you know what? A lot of PS1 games look like that. It was their first 3D Final Fantasy as well. Like,
and to me, in my mind at least, it makes them seem like action figures.
That's a good
as I'm playing it, like if I were to play it now, it's like me going back to being a kid and playing with my action figures. Because I always got very intricate with my action figures. I played in the entire living room, and I would have like strings and shit. I had by the windowsill, and the boss fight was always on a rooftop or something.
Yeah. This is the first time this story's ever gone public. As a kid, I had this big football toy box full of stuffed animals, like monkeys and like gorilla or monkeys, like tigers and like all kinds of big frogs, whatever. And for about maybe from like 4th to like 7th grade, it's a lot. 7th grade's old. You're about 12 in 7th grade. Stop playing with dolls, Bill. But I had this fake TV channel called BTV. Could you guess why it's called BTV?
You like bees?
I like bees, but I'm also Billy. And and I had a stable of shows that I would put on. Kind of like Looney Tunes, where I didn't have enough money to buy like thousands of stuffed animals, so every show would have the same stuffed animals in them. And like
Looney Tunes?
Yeah, and I had like one monkey called like Lorenzo. One was called John R. Don. The reason he was named John R. Don is because it came on. I bought him at the Philadelphia Zoo when I was little, and he had a name tag that said John R. Don. And like I would do these stupid things with them, where my dad had this old cologne bottle. And like it was the perfect size to be like a flask for one of the monkeys or whatever. So like I dumped his cologne out and I would fill it up with water. And like I would have him hold it and like I would pop the cap off and like the water would absorb into the monkey and it would just dry out. But I'd have him like drink it. And then like I had them like smoke cigarettes. But like obviously I couldn't have like cigarettes for them.
Like pens?
So I had toothpicks and like toothpicked a little hole in his mouth and they were called Tootherettes because they weren't cigarettes. It was like a special brand or whatever. So like I had all these different props and everything, and I had like guns, like little G.I. Joe guns. I would be able to fit in their hands and stuff, and they had all kinds of shows and like all kinds of things.
That's good.
But like it's like action figures, you know.
Healthy childhood.
It is. I like that because I remember when I used to go
smoking and drinking out of flask.
That was inventive.
It's good though because I remember when I used to go when I was a kid and I would go with my mom to the laundromat because I grew up in the city, and she would go wash. And I would have my figures there. I played the exact same way. I think I had storylines, I had character names, they had voices, everything.
Yeah.
And then I would watch the stupid kids who would just grab 2 action figures and just do this.
Oh yeah, fuck! Let's go.
Like, what are you doing? Like,
Skeletor.
like they just like, what the fuck is that? Those are the people going to watch all the fucking Resident Evil movies. Like, but because I remember like even
Jovovich, yeah.
I'm sorry if you like the Resident Evil movies. I just think they're horrible.
Hey, if you like them, enjoy them. That's whatever.
But yeah, it's that's how I see.
Probably beat your action figures together as a kid.
Hey, if that's your thing too, whatever.
No, fuck you. That's use your goddamn brain.
Toy smash.
But that's what Final Fantasy VII reminds me of.
Action figures. I like that.
Just playing with my action figures.
I love going back and playing old PS1 games because like I love pre-rendered backgrounds. I think those kinds of things don't really age too much because I think if they're high quality, you know, like it maintains a certain fidelity where it doesn't look like bad.
It's almost in a way, it's almost like watching like the older, like really like renowned anime. Like Akira and stuff. Yeah. The way everything kind of like pans around and everything. It has that sort of similar look, which I've always really liked as well.
Yeah. Nice. I'm loving Final Fantasy VII.
I think something interesting in this vein is the recent remaster, or pretty much remade game, the new Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
It was a new game, but it was the first game.
They just totally
ground up. They rebuilt it, but it's still, you know, they cut some levels out. They retcon the story a bit. For the better, because there's a lot of lore now that the games are so far along.
Yeah.
And the first game didn't really have any. So they retconned the lore, and the game, first off, it's like a lot of it is the exact same levels. But they look
brought
beautiful
to a modern standard, yeah.
And it's not even like we're like, oh, this game used to look like that to me. No. You can tell right off the bat, even if you haven't seen the old games in a while. So, like, the straight comparison's obvious. But even from playing the first games ages ago and looking at this, the game's beautiful, and it really follows the spirit of the original game, and I think that's really cool. I don't really have too much to say about that,
No,
except that
it's
it's
cool.
really neat.
It's interesting to think about because we're going to experience that again with Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's the thing where like I wanted to get Final Fantasy VII completed before that comes out. It's a thing where like story-wise it'll likely be the same, and like I could just wait. Mm-hmm. But there's a part of me that like this is a game that's so beloved and like talked up so much.
I mean, there's definitely a lot that's going to change. A lot of the weird gimmicky jokes that were common in the PS1 era probably won't make it in. But some
I
of them
wonder.
will, I'm sure.
Do you know of the scene where Cloud cross-dresses?
Yes, yeah.
Do you think that'll make it into the Final Fantasy VII Remake?
It's hard to tell.
I think
honestly, I think it might. Because are there Japanese developers working on it?
Yeah,
that's probably gonna happen.
Yeah. It was
if you would have played more Persona 4, you'd know why I'm agreeing with it still being there.
Cool.
Cross-dressing Persona 4.
I'm ready.
Spoilers.
I'm ready for that. Cool. No, nice. Good little discussion. I do wanna knock in the hour time limit. We're on that right now.
All right.
But ceremoniously, I do want to end the show with other recommendations of the week. I do want us to go down the line. Each of us recommend one thing only that we had either watched, played, read, ate, whatever, since the last time, or throughout this week, or just today, or whatever that you guys are interested in. Jose, we'll start at the end of the line. What do you got?
I tried cocaine for the first time. It was really good.
Sick.
There's a lot of games done that way.
Yeah.
Cocaine's like super coffee. So
Pop in your backlog, yeah.
Everybody, do cocaine. No, don't actually do that.
Yeah, don't. No, definitely don't do that.
Don't even think about it.
If you want to check out StrategyDaddy.com, go ahead.
Just drink Coca-Cola. It's okay.
Don't do cocaine. Anything new? Well, I finally got around to playing the Batman Telltale stories.
How is it?
Nice.
Phenomenal. It was really.
Awesome.
I'm hearing amazing things
That's
about
great.
it.
I haven't really heard much
good.
about it.
I
So
played
I'm
it all.
happy to
I
hear
played that whole episode in one sitting.
Yeah.
Like
I heard that was
I had
other
to,
games.
I had to pee for like 2 hours, and I just sat, I could pause it, but I was like, no, I gotta know what the hell's going on. It was really good.
I've heard it really explores like Bruce Wayne a lot. Which
2's out
is,
now, right?
Like that's the ideal Batman story.
2's out now, right?
Is it?
No, in like a week or two.
Oh wow.
Oh.
That's fast though. How many episodes are there going to be total?
5.
Nice. That's five's their usual.
The Telltale trademark.
Well, I think they did 6 in Game of Thrones.
There's 5.
Was there? Oh, all right. I was wrong.
That was really good.
I'm pretty sure there was 5.
And I got the Mr. Robot game for the phone.
How's that?
That's pretty cool because it works just like a text app, and you'll get notifications and stuff when they text you, and it actually it takes place. Slight spoilers.
Do it.
It takes place during the whole Stone Mountain thing. So
it's not really a spoiler because I don't know what that means.
yeah,
so.
that's what I mean. Slight spoilers, slightly. It takes place during the whole Stone Mountain thing, so it's everything from that background that they never aired. But it's done through the form of like a text adventure.
That's cool.
Because it's an app.
It's a literal text adventure.
Yeah. So like you get notifications of when you get texted and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
It was really neat. It's really neat the way it's done. And I'm looking forward to finishing it. And
cool.
It helps.
It sounds like one of those cool things in the vein of like AR games.
Yeah.
Which I hope kick off in a good way. Eventually, at least minor parts. Like Infamous Second Son had an AR game. Overwatch has this weird AR going on that's not really all that good, but it's still interesting.
Yeah. There's that one AR
that.
horror game that's coming out for Android devices. I think iPhone as well. I'm not sure. That looks really neat. And what it does is like it'll, as you're walking around, it'll like map out wherever you're playing.
Oh yeah.
And it'll show you stuff that's there, and it's like it's a horror game. So you're like supposed to save this girl that's like being taken by a demon or something. I forget the exact story. It's out. I think it's out next month.
Cool.
It's been in development for like 2 years.
Pissing my pants in alternate reality, baby.
Yeah. And what it does is it'll, like I said, it'll map out like where you're at. So like stuff isn't just triggered from like it's not like staged like where it's like at this point this is gonna happen.
So it's like I'm playing a horror game in my own house.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
So it'll trigger it based on everything.
I wonder if they're gonna mix that in
actual
with
map
VR.
of your
Like I
house.
wonder if Sony sells a camera that goes on their thing eventually.
That'd be interesting.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Oculus has that, or at least people have rigged it to have that.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that. VR, walk down the street with a headset on, see everything. Shoot people.
and then you get mugged.
That's our first warning sign.
How about you, Rob? What have you? Anything cool? Anything?
Yeah,
uncool?
I've started working on full completion of games.
Oh,
I was
killing it.
I got back into Fallout 4 for some reason. I feel like playing Fallout 4 right
Yeah,
now.
that's how you playing it. That's how you platinum.
So I started playing it. And then I looked at my trophies and was like, you know what? I got most of these already. The only trophies I need to get like the rest of the bobbleheads and finish a few quest lines. So I did exactly that, and I got the platinum.
Feel good?
It felt great. Anytime you get a platinum, so platinum, for people who don't have a Sony console, is getting every single available trophy in the game. And actually, you know what? It actually started with Journey. Journey came out on the PS4 with one of the Plus games this month. And I played Journey on the PS3, and I loved it. Great game, but I never just went through and got everything. And there's a thing in Journey where if you collect all these glyphs, or whatever they're called, you get a white robe instead of the red robe.
Oh my god.
And like it doesn't really, it just got like a special property, but it doesn't really mean anything, but it's a white robe, like that's cool. Not everybody has that. So when I picked it up on PS4, I was like, alright, this time I'm getting that fucking robe. I need that robe.
Did you get that robe?
I got that robe.
You got that robe?
Every other trophy in that game.
Call him Robert.
And that started the sickness. I was like, oh, 100% the game. I have to move on to the next one. And that's when I picked up Fallout 4.
That's when he shouted, oh, wow, oh, wow.
Yeah. And then I got everything in Fallout 4 and 100% of that. And I was like, another. And so I picked up Bioshock Infinite and I 100% completed that.
Another.
Then I picked up Skyrim.
You're crazy, Rob.
And I'm going to 100% complete that.
Are you fucking nuts?
I'm probably not, though, because Rise of Iron comes out on one day and I'm going to be playing that.
That's right.
And then I'm going to 100% complete that.
Wahoo!
No, I'm not.
I was like that until Mass Effect came
No,
out.
the one... I actually almost have Mass Effect 2 done. But I'm never going to play it on the hardest mode, so I don't care. Because I was thinking about 100%ing The Witcher 3. Because I love that game. But you have to play it on its absolute hardest difficulty. The beginning of that game is really fucking hard. So I'm never going to play it on its hardest difficulty.
Mm-hmm.
No platinum for Rob.
And then I thought about doing Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption has
Platinum.
like 20 online-only trophies. I was like, yeah, no. That's not worth it. The servers probably have like a single person in them if you're lucky.
That sucks about like, oh man, I bought this game. I never played it before. I'm late to the party, and I can't get the platinum because like half the trophies are multiplayer.
I think a lot of
trophies,
people
and
have
who the fuck
moved away
plays
from that
still?
for the most part. People don't put multiplayer trophies in anymore. Unless it's a multiplayer-only game, obviously, like Overwatch. I'll get that one eventually too. That one's hard though. Bill, what have you been doing for the past month?
Burping.
Spending a lot of time playing World of Warcraft Legion. I think the last episode we put up. Or was that the one that didn't make it to the last day?
I think it's the one we didn't get up, yeah.
Where I talked about WoW and how, games like that always stick with you, no matter how much shit you sling at it. I've been enjoying Legion a lot. I don't have much to say about it too much. I do have one thing I want to talk about especially. But if you're on the fence, if you played WoW before, if, you were slighted by Worlds of Draenor, which, wasn't that great. If you say you quit a long time ago, let's say you've been looking for an MMO to get back into, you're not sure which one it is, kind of the top dog on the market still is Blizzard's product. It's still World of Warcraft. Legion is amazing. I mean that sincerely. It's not a thing where with Worlds of Draenor, I never even hit level cap. I quit after like 2-3 weeks. I'm still going strong in Legion. I hit level cap. I'm getting into the end game. World quests are an awesome addition. They're adding Mythic Plus dungeons next week, which kind of rope in Diablo 3's Greater Rift system, when the dungeons keep getting progressively harder as you go, and you keep going till you die, which is awesome. I love that kind of stuff. It really challenges you, and adds replayability to dungeons that you might do once and stop. There's a lot of meat to it. It's a really great expansion. But the thing I want to talk about the most... Oh, add me on Battle.net if you have Pepperdham. Hashtag, well, not pound, whatever the fuck that thing is. What is that number sign? What is it called? What's the official title? Pound. Hashtag pound number sign 1172. Pepperdham number 1172. That's my battle tag. Add me if you're playing WoW. If you're not playing WoW, there's no point in adding me. I don't play any of the Blizzard games besides Overwatch, and I play it on my PlayStation 4. The thing I really want to talk about is a movie. I watched Sing Street today. I'm on a high. I'm on a Sing Street high. Anybody out there down in the dumps? Maybe you're looking for a movie to watch. You don't want to watch something that's going to make you feel dumpy. Rent, do whatever, buy Sing Street. It is a movie by John Carney, who did Once and Begin Again. I've never seen Begin Again. I have seen Once. Have you seen Once?
Once is really good, yeah.
With Glenn Hansard and Maruska, whatever. Big fan of... I watched that movie because I heard the song Falling Slowly, and I'm like, that sounds great. What is this from? And I watched Once, and it was a great movie. Yeah, John Carney did Sing Street. Original soundtrack. It's set in Dublin in the 80s, 1985 to be exact. Kids, parents. Littlefinger plays his dad in the movie. Fuck's his name?
I do not remember his real name.
Aidan Gillen.
Aidan Gillen. That is
Aidan Gillen.
Gillen.
Is in it.
I don't know. Gilligan.
like parents are kind of going through financial trouble, going through like a divorce kind of situation.
80s, am I right?
Can't afford to keep him going to like whatever school he was going to, kind of like a posh type school. Send him to some dirty ass Catholic school where he ends up.
Well, the dirty boy PS4 owners.
That's all the people playing Bloodborne 2 and 10 FPS go to this school.
He's getting bullied by solid Norman.
So he goes there and he runs into some bullies, whatever. Typical shenanigans that happen whenever these kids in these movies or shows move to a new school that's dirty, get beat up and whatever. And so he meets like a misfit kid, and the misfit kid, starts to teach him some of the ropes. And as they're leaving school, he sees a girl across the street, like smoking on a porch, that he's like immediately attracted to, and he goes over to talk to her. Like this kid tells him this girl is, isn't interested in anybody in the school. She doesn't go to school. She quit school, whatever. She's a model. And he goes over and he asks her if she could be in a music video for his band. He doesn't have a band. And she's like, "Oh, you're in a band. Oh, you sing me a song." And he sings her some shit off the top of his head. She gives him her number, and he walks over back to the kid and goes, "Gotta form a band." So that's where the movie pretty much starts. He's forming a band. If you like 80s music, if you like rock music or pop music or new wave or synth stuff, the original soundtrack's fantastic. The movie... I haven't watched the movie that made me like genuinely... I watched it by myself. I usually watch most of my movies with my parents or with my dad or whatever. So like in terms of expressing...
you get way more genuine emotion when you watch a movie by yourself.
And I have not felt like it's watching them. I almost want to go back and watch certain movies by myself so I can see how I react. The whole movie, I'm sitting there in my computer chair with my headphones on. Biggest smile ever, the whole entire movie. And I'm bawling my eyes out at one point in the movie. And I'm like, I had to pause it. I took my headphones off. And I'm like, why? Why am I crying? And I'm like, this movie...
I'll do that. If I watch a movie alone and it's emotional, I'll cry.
Did I cry a lot?
My life is in shambles.
It doesn't take much to get me to cry. I'm gonna cry editing this later. Anyway, if you're looking for if you like music movies or comedies or romance stories, the movie is so genuinely funny and charming and bittersweet and real, and it's super great. I highly recommend Sing Street. It's probably my favorite movie of the year so far, besides Nice Guys, which I'm a big fan of as well. Check it out. I'm gonna get it to you guys as soon as I can because I want you guys to watch it. Yeah. So nice. That has been Nick's Pixel Podcast episode 5. We're back. If you liked the show, let us know in a comment down below or on Facebook, or hit us up on our Twitter at A Mixed Pixel. Or if you want to let us know something individually, you can find me at Peppered Ham. You can also find our other ham. You can also find our other ham. You can also find our other ham.